Hello, Wazoo Nation. I'm excited to be back once again. I hope you really did enjoy the show last time with my friend Pony. And of course, I have to say also, I hope that everybody with me will say a prayer for him. He's come across some ailments. He cannot come back right away to do this second or third episode, which I hope will definitely happen in the future. But I'm open to ask anybody if you believe in prayers or whatever the cases, or believe in good thoughts, please send them towards my buddy Pony. I beg you. So
Prayers,
now,
Pony.
prayers, Pony, exactly. I have my friend Rosalie off to the side over here to try to keep me in track, of course, when I ramble on, like Led Zeppelin would say. And but the point right now is I'm gonna try to keep the rock and roll theme. And I think how better to than possibly my greatest job of all time, which just sounds very funny if you think about most people. Oh, I was a doctor, a lawyer, all that, but one of my greatest jobs was Andy Frain. Now, the reason I'm explaining to you what Andy Frain is, I was at Weber High School and I was a sophomore. And I remember at that time I was selling pot and I was doing a little, drug dealing. And I was making pretty decent money. And the deal was I was realizing that one time I got pulled over by a cop because I rented a car and he asked me about a job. And I technically worked with the movie business once in a while and that. But anyhow, I figured, I got to get a job. So I remember I'm at Weber High School and over the loudspeaker they go, Andy Frain is looking for people. Please come by after school to room such and such 201 and please come see the representative.
Free concerts.
Free concerts is what it turned out to be. And anyhow, I walked in there and myself and the guy Jack Aarons were the only two schmucks in the place right there. Now,
I can't believe you remember names like that. That's
but
amazing.
but anyhow, what's amazing about it too is the woman who's doing the interviewing, I guess. Her name was Joanne Taylor. Gorgeous redhead. She was like Anne Margaret, for the old timers who know what I'm talking about. Unbelievable, gorgeous woman. And then I figured out after the fact why they sent this woman to all boys schools trying to get a job in Andy Free. What better to have a hot woman come there and say, "Hey, come work for us."
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, we waited, and finally we were the only two. And she was, boy, oh boy, she was, does anybody want a job around here? And no, I guess not. Anyway, she goes, well, she was hoping they would be 16 years old. Now, technically, because we're not 16 years old, if you're 15 and a half or 15, whatever, up to 16, they would allow you to go work on a work permit, they would call it, for younger kids.
I remember that.
And the deal was, I had the working permit. Now, they would allow you to work. You were not allowed, I think you were work like 20 hours a week was max. You were not allowed to work past 10 o'clock at night and stuff like that. So now she goes to us, she goes, I've got the job for you. And now back in the old days when we were growing up, concerts, going to concerts was the thing. I mean, you didn't get a shit out. You got to jump in strangers' cars, get over there, whatever the case may be, jump in the bus. You just wanted to get the effing concert, go to Alpine Valley. Geez, I got stories about that later on. It's like you did whatever the hell to do to get the concerts. So when she told me at the amphitheater before every concert, they have the layout. And the layout would be like you have a stage right here, say the black thing, where here's a stage, and then you have all these rows of chairs, and they were folding chairs, like basic folding chairs, like
God, I
regular,
forgot
little
about
ones, like
that.
the ones that you see grade schools all the time around the stupid, the tables over there. And every row and every seat had a seat number and the row number, and myself and Jack Aarons, he would do one side, I would do the other side. And basically, what it is, we just marked everything, and it probably takes a couple hours or something like that. And I mean, it was unbelievable, and we were able to stay for the concerts.
That's amazing.
It was fucking
What a great
great.
job.
I mean, I'm first thing comes to mind, UFO. UFO, we was seeing was lights out in Chicago.
Was that
Tour.
the one they recorded
Yeah, in
here?
Chicago, the amphitheater, right? I'm over there. I'll never forget my buddy Jack and I. And this was like one of the first concerts we actually done, and it was so fucking cool because we're walking around there and basically had like a little security pass, even though we were nobody, because they let us go anywhere. Because they know we were working for the Andy Frame. We had to sometimes go backstage, get something, whatever the case may be, or whatever the case. And it was awesome.
Did you
So
meet anyone when you were backstage?
I never really spoke to anybody, but I saw them like in backstage. So the point of my UFO thing is, I see Phil Mogg there. and he's the lead singer for UFO, great singer, and he's rocked. I mean, he's got a bottle of Jim Beam, 2 chicks on each side, and he's fucked up. I mean, he's like, my God, I mean, mumbling. I go,
This is before the concert?
and I go to
Rock and roll,
I go to my buddy
baby.
Jack. I go, God dang, dude, how's he gonna tonight? You know? So I remember they told us we had to get out there because the backup band was actually getting on stage, started singing and everything like that. We got on. There's fucking no way this guy's a singer. What the fuck's going on? I don't know what the hell he did, but well, more likely it's like cocaine's a hell of a drug, whatever.
Probably.
He got straightened out and he sang a fucking phenomenal concert. It was unfucking believable. And it was like, wow. And this was like a little 15, 16-year-old kid, and it was just like the top of the world. I thought it was like everything. Now, what's great about this job was what's second here? Did not see anything move over here. Let me pause for 1 second.
So it seems like there were a lot of perks with this job.
Absolutely. Perks, when we say perks, we're talking about drugs and booze and stuff like that. But when you're 16 years old, forget about it. It's like a dream. Like you feel like Willy Wonka, but it's real good candy. But the deal is,
I was thinking more of the concerts.
So anyway, the concerts. When you're an Andy Frain, what happens is you usually tend to be in a uniform, blue uniform. That's why they call it the blue Andy Frain uniform. And people are familiar with it in Chicago because Wrigley Field for the Cubs, Soldier Field for the Bears. They used to always work there. And the deal with this was I would bring a wardrobe bag with me, even though I would not wear the uniform when I did this job at Andy Frain at the what do you call it, at the amphitheater. So as I said, you marked everything with chalk and everything like that, and did my job like that. But I brought a wardrobe bag all the time.
Was that where you were located, just the amphitheater, or any other
At that
venues?
time, yes.
Okay.
That was my main job at that time, and heck, the main reason I got this job was they have a little cover up for that, so I got a job. You know what I mean? So the deal is I didn't give a shit how many hours I worked, whatever the case may be. You could show my Andy Frain card, or whatever the case may be, and go, yeah, I work, I got a job. You know, and when they're wondering what helps, you know, eating a steak dinner, whatever the case, what the hell it is, or spend a lot of money yet somewhere else, you know, what, I got a job. So I brought this wardrobe bag because what back in the days, what they used to do is they used to have like almost like bikers. They were bikers. The bikers that would be the bouncers for the thing. Now back then you didn't have no metal detectors or like that. No, you had to come by. You'd have one woman check the bag, right? Check your bags, and then the guys would do the search of the guys. And if there was a woman, if they were suspicious about a woman, the woman had to pat them down. So every gate had this I guess entourage of guys that would say you're coming in, coming out. Now, obviously, people always would try sticking beers. You know, you put them in your, your wallet, whatever, your pants, and in case
Your
maybe your
socks,
pockets,
yeah.
whatever the case may be. And when they got stopped, they would take the beer away. So what I would do at the end all the time, I'd walk her over there and say, "Hey, what's going on? Hey, kid, what's up?" And I would come home maybe with a 12-pack of beer, 8 different brands, and I would just shock them in the back of the bus at Halsted Avenue when I'm going
Oh my
back
God.
home. And
What time was this at?
this was at midnight. So
Oh my gosh.
and, uh, I remember the funniest story ever. Well, the greatest perk I ever had. Because a lot of times I mean, it was unbelievable. They get quaaludes or acid or whatever the case may be, confiscate, weed and stuff like that. A lot of times they would give me stuff, and it was awesome. And one day I'm at a Foghat concert. Now, for people who don't know Foghat was like really a really rough, like a hard rock type of band. And I remember talking to bouncers. I used to ask them what were the toughest jobs or the toughest concerts to do, and they almost all said Foghat.
Wow.
Because of the fights and the deals always. And so, anyways, I'm walking around. I went this one thing, and I remember the guy, "Hey kid, what's up?" And all of a sudden, it's funny, like you said, Foghat. Back there was a lot of what we say white kids like us going to these concerts. And one day, this small, skinny black guy walks up there, and as he walks up, you see the biggest effing bulge you ever saw in your life, in his pants. And right away, they're all like looking, they're all laughing, and they're like, "You gotta be kidding me! You gotta be kidding me!" And so he walks in there, gives him the ticket, and he goes, "Dude," he goes, "I've heard black guys got big dicks, but I'm sure they can't be that big." And so he basically
Oh my God.
said, I'm gonna give you an option. Either we're gonna go, because they used to have a side room where they had to do like a search, and especially for the women or something like that. And he goes, you either can go to the side room, take everything out we got in your pants right now, or I can go in there and take it out. And if I do, everything's coming out. And obviously, he made the smart decision and went in the side room. So anyhow, long story short, they walked in there, checked the thing, boom, and they threw all the joints on top of this table over there. And I just remember walking, it was such a huge, like a pyramid of joints. It was unfucking believable, you know. And then, oh wow, I mean, I never saw that much pot at that time in one place ever. It was like, and I'm still thinking, why so many joints? So I remember he goes, hey kid, he goes, you ever see so many joints? No, I'm fucking never. So many J's. I go, no. And he goes, want to count them? Fuck, yeah, why not? I had nothing else to do. So boom, boom. 803 fucking joints.
What was he going to do with all those joints?
They're trying to sell inside. You know, boy, oh boy, a lot of people were especially in our day and age, people, you know, pot was illegal like that. Most kids or old like that had a joint with or joints when they were going to concert already. So most people were.
I don't remember what would it have cost for one joint back
Something like
then.
$1.
$1.
Right.
Okay.
Uh,
That's pretty cheap.
but so I count 83 joints, and he was, hey kid, you want some? He goes, go ahead, grab yourself 2 handfuls. And I remember just grabbing, and I ended up with 214 because I scooped them up like this, like it was gold. And it was loving gold, by the way. And then I picked it up, and I remember I joints for, I must have been for weeks on that guy that I really appreciated. But the funny part, they let him go to the concert still. I don't even know why he even went. I think he probably walked in and walked back out again. He goes, what
did he say? Was he really bummed that they took? That's a big stash to take.
Was we want? Goes go come back and call the cops. Let the cops know. Right? What is he gonna do? He ain't gonna tell the cops that he stole 800 joints from me. So that to me was the Burks. And it now the stories that's great about is it, I was at school at Weber High School, and when I was at Weber High School, I was part of the honor rules system, but not very good at it. And the deal was, I still kept my grades up. I was about a B minus.
Did you ever do any homework?
Hardly ever.
Yeah, and you're still on the honor roll. As always, very smart guy.
So smart. I'm not the smartest, but you know, I'm trying to be. And anyhow, came home one night. I remember I got my wardrobe bag and I had a good haul. I think I had a bunch of beers with me still with that. And we used to walk. When I was walking down the street, we used to have Halstead, which was 800 West, and my apartment was at 2200 West Wilson Avenue. So literally, you do the math, it's 14 blocks. So it's almost 2 miles. When you're a kid, that's nothing, you know. So, but I remember it was a hot summer day, and I'm coming back, and I'm carrying my bag. This was probably actually not during school year, but during the summertime. And I'm coming back, and there used to be an Indian Heritage Center right there by Ashland Avenue, which was 1600. So I remember. Blocks, and a lot of times guys are. It's sad to say, a lot of times we guys be all fucked up on a lawn over there. So I remember one time when I walked by and the guy was all fucked up, and he woke up and he looks at me, "What are you looking at?" I'm just walking home, I go, nothing. And I go, great, now I'm going to have to get a scrap with this guy. I'm not scared of the guy, but they go, gee, the last thing I want to do is get in a fight before I'm going home. And I get up, I turn on, I go, I don't want to get in a fight. I just sit back, and I sit back, and the guy still like, so run there, boom, bam, face plants right on the sidewalk.
Oh, poor thing.
Fuck. But that's why life was when you're growing up to see, you just came across shit like that all the time. And the only reason I made my mom, I would come home late a lot of times. My mom could like job because I was able to maintain my grades. If I was able to maintain my grades, she would never let me have that job. So now I'm going to tell you the greatest perk that I ever had from Andy Frain. Now this was.
What was that, Ed?
Are you all on pins and needles, ladies and gentlemen? Because you should. But anyways, what was great about this, I was working with Andy Frain, but not as much. But I still had connections with the people over there. And sure enough, Jolene Taylor came through for me again. 1985, I got to see the Chicago Bears play at playoffs for free.
Wow.
Andy Frain, when they beat the New York Giants, shut them out and shut out the Rams. And
Monsters of the Midway.
And that was the greatest fucking perk I could ever have. And I remember it was so damn cold. Remember that Sean Ledetta, the punter, had dropped the ball because the ball was like an ice cube. It was so damn cold, and he miffed it, and we got a touchdown, and it was wonderful. And anyhow, there were 3 pairs of long johns, but that was a thing where the little $2.15 a fucking hour job. I just got to see the Chicago Bears play in the playoffs.
That's amazing.
Awesome. Forget about it. And
that was a very exciting time in Chicago.
It was, especially like as you can see, all our teams were pretty bad. Always, I'm excited about the Bears now. Forget about Go Bears. But yeah, it's such a great city. I mean, my dream is I want to get a Saudi Arabian prince to come over and buy all Chicago teams, so we can win all these championships.
No way. We don't want a Saudi prince buying our team.
Championships. Deal is have somebody spend some money and actually help out City Chicago. But anyhow, I hope you guys enjoy this. This is just a little taste of what's going on. And once again, I have to mention Pony again.
Prayers Pony.
Prayers Pony. And there obviously be more stories and stuff like that. We'll probably be chiming in like that. We'll probably involve Andy Frain and all this stuff. But I just wanted to get out, the main stories that I thought would be interesting for you to listen to. So,
go Wazoo Nation.
Wazoo Nation. God love you all.
God bless.
Love you, Pony.